In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to fight off the accelerated dragon. And just to show you that this is a very accurate game, I have a 2600 accuracy rating or 97% accuracy rating or about, and a 2600 estimated rating on this game. Not to brag, although I'm bragging a little bit, I understand that. But it's just to show you guys that this is a very accurate game. So I also want to cover something else within this. So there's a lot of other lessons in here besides the opening, but I want to focus on the opening first. How do you stop the accelerated dragon? First, how do you spot it? Well, you're going to see bishop g7 before any of these pawns are moved. So if you see g6 followed by bishop g7, we have the hyper accelerated dragon. Now, it's very dangerous because if you just play normally and play c3, at some point, black is going to get the move in like d5 at some point, and not right away, obviously, and would be a bad position. You'd be dropping a knight, but the whole point is d5 comes at some point very quickly. So you don't have to memorize the hyper accelerated dragon. All you have to realize is after you see these two moves, instead of playing knight c3, which is usual, just play c4. C4 is called the Maroczy bind. So basically, it's creating a bind on d5, and it's stopping black from playing d5 basically permanently. That's why it's called the Maroczy bind. That's what you play. It slows the game down, number one, so the hyper-accelerated dragon is pretty much stifled, and also it slows the game, and you don't have to know theory anymore. Basically, you're just going to develop your knight regularly, your bishop regularly, and castle kingside, not queenside here, and that just slows the game down. So that's first and foremost. Now I'll show you how you play it afterwards. Again, I just put my pieces on the normal squares. At this point, knight c3, bishop e3, my bishop comes to e2. I don't put my bishop on d3, and that's because this is potential weaknesses right here. Now my bishop's not defended. He doesn't have any good discoveries yet, but again, I don't want to take those chances. So bishop e2 is fine. I castle kingside as advertised. I take, and now I play f3. So I play f3 just to keep this pawn clamped down, just to add extra protection to this pawn. And now I create a battery on the h6 square. And here at this point, now the computer's saying b4. The computer's just showing the best moves, but these are all very good moves here. So I just develop my rook to an open file, queen c7, and knight d5. Now, knight d5 is just improving the knight. So if the knight stays there, the knight's good. Obviously, it's attacking the queen. If the queen just moves out of the way, it'll be losing its tempo, you can say. So black takes, and I take back now with the c pawn. I take towards the center. You could also take with the e pawn, and the computer actually slightly prefers the e pawn, but it's basically the same thing. So I took, because obviously I have to take back. So I took back with the pawn. I have more space now than I did before. I'm attacking the bishop. I also have a new open c file that I'm going to immediately put my rook on. My rook wants to be on open files, plus we're attacking the queen. The queen moves, and now I play bishop b6. Now, bishop b6 is a hard move to find if you're a good chess player. Why? Because if you're a good chess player, you're going to be looking at the move bishop h6, because you hear a lot, and I'll say it a lot too, that when you're fighting against this bishop, the Fian Shuttle bishop, that's also happens a lot in the Sicilian Dragon, that you want to get rid of this bishop. And let's say they trade off and everything. You might say, oh, well, I won. I won a big advantage. I got rid of that bishop. Well, not really. In this case, you have to look at chess. We have to look at every position and take it for what it is specifically. And in this position, what would be my follow-up? Like, I don't have any mate threats. I don't have a knight that can jump in here. I don't have a dark... I mean, obviously, I just gave away my dark square bishop. My rooks can't easily come through here. But so there would be no follow-up, and all the action is on the queen side. We would have b5. Black would be expanding. I would have to rush back. And now, at best, with equal... I equalized, right? So all the play is actually on the queen side. So we have to see that. And how do we see that? Well, the pawns are pointing towards the queen side. So that's a good tell. We have an open file on the queen side, and both our bishops are pointing to the queen side. Yes, this bishop's pointing to the king side as well, but it's pointing to the queen side, and this one's pointing to the queen side, and the queen is also easily coming to the queen side. So all the action's on the queen side, so that told me to play bishop b6. Now, why did I play bishop b6? Well, I'm stopping black from expanding on the queen side. So I'm stopping him. I'm not allowing him to get space. I want space. I want him to be cramped because space is a major advantage in chess. So black takes and now tries to challenge the c-file, and I play this move. Now I played this move to induce the move bishop b5, hoping he would play that, and he did. Now why do you think I hope he did that? Because now it looks scary, but now I just trade the rooks, and after he takes, I take the bishop, and now we have double isolated pawns. Now the computer says he's fine here if you look at the evaluation bar, but I'd rather not have the double isolated pawns, and if we're getting closer to an endgame as we speak right now, as we simplify, I might as well, play against double isolated pawns going into an endgame. I felt like that would be an advantage to me. Now, it's true and it's not true. The computer says technically there's a way to play it where black's fine. However, from a human standpoint, it's much tougher to play with these weaknesses. And I'll show you what happened in the game and why that is. First, I take care of any back rank mates. So I get rid of that. The queen comes down, attacking my pawn. I defend it. And now we have a trade. Now, after the trade, this is very important. All my pawns are on light squares, right? That means black cannot counterattack my pawns because he has a dark square bishop. So he can never attack any of these pawns. Actually, every single one of my pawns is on a light square. So now my king can go off on a journey and do whatever he wants, and I don't have to worry about any counterattack. His king is also very far away. So I started with the idea of just getting my king into the center, and now he plays the losing move. B4 is a losing move, and take your time and really try to think, pause the video, and try to think why this is the losing move. It's not a tactics puzzle, really. It's not like one or two moves and win, but it's just what's the idea of it? Why do you think that's the losing move? Now, a big part of this to know why this is a losing move is, again, my pawns are on light squares. So now my king can jet over here to this square, attack the pawn, and he cannot counterattack my pawns. If my pawns were on dark squares and my king went away, he can start attacking and also get my pawns. But now I can just go, freely and without a care in the world because he cannot counterattack me. And now I'm going to put pressure on this pawn and then put pressure on this pawn again. And he's only defending it once and he cannot add a second defender. Now, why can't he add a second defender? Well, his pawns are doubled and isolated. So if his pawn was here, he could possibly at one point, maybe, now he wouldn't be able to either, but let's say it was here, he could add a second defender, right? But since we have isolated pawns here, again, it's very tough to play. If you play one wrong move, it could be fatal, which was the case here. So now I get my king over, I attack it a second time, and now there's nothing he can do. I just simply throw an in-between move in there. I take, and now we have a 2-on-1 on the queen side, completely winning. I take here, I come back. He does have king opposition, but that doesn't matter. Why does that not matter? Because we have pawn moves, right? It only matters if we don't have any pawn moves or any other moves. I play that first, and now I get my king into the game. I'm stopping g5, so I'm playing f4, and now I'm creating a pass pawn on the king side. So now I have a majority, a 2-on-1 majority on the king side, and a 2-on-1 majority on the queen side. This does not happen often, and this other pawn is being blockaded by my king, and my king is better and more active than black's king, and also we're up a pawn. So we're completely winning here. You could play anything. You could play a5 or f5. Both moves win. And you actually could probably play king e5 at some point. But he plays that, stopping king e5 potentially. And again, it looks like he has king opposition, but he doesn't because a major detail is we can play pawn moves, right? So again, f5 wins, a5 wins. I played a5. And I just passed, and he resigned here. He resigned because even if he does this to get my pawn, this guy passes, and we have this pawn coming and that pawn coming. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Just wanted to show you how to fight against the Hyper Accelerated Dragon. Since it's trendy nowadays, you just play c4, then Maroczy bind, and also play on the side of the board you have most space. If you liked that video, check out this one. I'll catch you guys next time. Go play some chess.